Now what do we have here? A light gun game? Awesome! Even better yet, a light gun shooting gallery type game. Cool! Well, it's Point Blank for the PlayStation today on Power Up. There, welcome to the show. In this week's episode, I decided to take a look at another really good arcade-style light gun shooter. Well, it's more of a shooting gallery type of game. It's called Point Blank for the PlayStation 1. Actually, in Japan, it's known as Gun Bullet. But this is the American version, so we're gonna take a look at that. So, let's go have some fun. Point Blank was released in 1998 for the PlayStation 1. It came packaged with Namco's GunCon, a very, if not the best, accurate kind of light gun. I also think there was a version of this game that didn't come with the gun packed in, or the GunCon packed in, but I'm not too sure of that. This game is what I like to call a carnival shooting gallery type game. There are enemies, but actually they're cardboard, which is pretty funny. It is meant to be non-violent. Funny thing. You're shooting a light gun, and it's non-violent? Silly Namco. And it's kind of funny is, one of its sequel is Point Blank 3, which I have, that I'll review probably some other time. I think it has let's see here, it has on the back of the desk, the case, it goes, "Parties and guns do mix." Wow. Okay, so does that mean if I go to a party, I should bring a gun? Like crazy Namco, I tell ya. At its heart, it's of course a above said non-violent all-ages shooting contest. Examples can be shooting targets while avoiding bombs and civilians, shooting what I mentioned before, shooting said cardboard targets, shooting player color targets. For example, there's a couple games where you gotta shoot ducks, and if you're the first player, you shoot the red ducks, and if you got another player playing with you, you shoot the blue ducks. And well, if you shoot the other player's ducks by accident, you can lose a life or so, and you get penalized for doing so. More examples are there are also many games where you protect the franchise of the game's mascots, Drs. Dan and Dr. Don. And one of my favorites, what I call the one-shot challenges, where you have to hit a target using only one shot, and it gives you only one shot to do it with. So there's no second chance or third chance. And plus you usually have less than 10 seconds to do that challenge in. So you really gotta be accurate and quick at the same time, which is really fun. And there are a couple ones that I haven't mentioned, but I think there's also, like in the later games, they made one where you had to shoot all of these bottles off this bar to clear it. And there's one where, I believe there's one where you have to shoot this so many times to destroy the plane, or shoot the meteor, this one thing, a couple times to prevent it from reaching Earth, stuff like that. And it's cool too, at the end, even the end of the game is fun. At the end, after you after you make it through the game, you have the opportunity to shoot these targets as much as you can in 10 seconds to set off these fireworks, and it gives you the final one more endgame bonus estimating how many fireworks you shoot. And yeah, and also there's a bonus game also in this game as well as all the other ones. And 1.3, I believe. I know for 3 also has this, where a couple mini shooting challenges in, you play the bonus stage, and that's where you have to pick from. You have to shoot from 4 different chests, and if you shoot the right one, you either get nothing, which would suck, or money for that points, or an extra life, or both in one chest, which is really cool. And it's completely random, so you don't know which has which is really fun. Although the game does give you 3 lives to go through the game with, you do have infinite continues. So basically, you will finish the game because you can never lose continues, even if you can lose lives if you don't meet the objectives of that certain challenge you play or the certain challenges. But you can always continue, so players should be able to get through the game. It's more getting a higher score than anything in this game. And lastly, what I really found out about this game is there's an RPG style game in here as well. It's like at first you try to thinking an RPG in my light gun shooter. Sounds good to me. Well, that sounds good to me anyway. Some of you might think, what the heck is a RPG doing in a light gun shooter? But done right, it's very fun. You move your character by of course shooting the screen where you want to go. And of course they're all random encounters, so if you run into an enemy, they said, do you want to play me or not? If you choose to play them, you play basically a light gun shooting, a typical light gun challenge, depending on who you face. Like, I ran into a clay pigeon, like, please go Paul. And so I accepted the challenge. So I played a light gun shooting game where I was shooting clay pigeons. But if I was able to do it, that wasn't acting as a successful battle. So I got some experience and some other stat-based stuff, including money and stuff. Like in RPG, there's stuff to get. There's some shops you can go on, so you can get stuff that enhances your gun a bit, which is cool. And if I note, even the menus are fun. What's cool about it is, when you pick a menu, you can there'll be like the Dr. Dan and Dr. Don parachuting, and you can shoot at them, which is pretty cool. Which is a nice touch as well. I had first heard of the point blank series a while ago back in the day, and I did reviews on it, and it looked pretty neat. I like light gun shooters. As you can tell by earlier this year, I did that light gun shooter tidbit. But I have a lot more than just those 3, as this review allows, or as you can see by this review. But point blank, I really like it. Instead of, I know you're not shooting zombies, or terrorists, or bad guys, well, not guys in that sense. But I do like it. It's a nice change of pace to just pop in point blank and see if I can beat my highest score. And it's kind of cool. And it does. And my highest score has gotten better, or not, over time. And it's much fun if you can. Play this, make sure you get another friend and play it with them. Of course, this game will not work on newer LCD TVs, because there's other technology involved. For this review, I used one of my old CRT TVs, what I called the boob tube TVs. But if you have one of these, and if you have a PlayStation, and this does work on a PlayStation 2 as well. So it does work on PlayStation 2, so don't worry if you don't have one. If you have PS2, you're fine. But if you see this game, even I found this first game at what used to be called Funko Land. I think they're called GameStop now. But I saw it like, I should really pick this up, and I have not been disappointed since. So I highly recommend this fantastic light gun shooter. So if you can get it, you will not be disappointed. And as usual, before we wrap up, if you live in or around South St. Paul, Minnesota, or in the Twin Cities, Minnesota metro area in particular, please visit my good friends at Level Up Games. And also, besides games, they have Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and tabletop board games as well. So be sure, please give them a look. And their address is at the bottom as usual if it's not down there already.
And also, if you're seeing this on YouTube, please rate and subscribe to my channel. And also, I have a Facebook fan page and group page, and a Twitter feed as well, and a website. And those are all down below as well. Well, anyway, then thank you so much for watching this episode again. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for another episode of Power Up.